Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to talk some more about It Ends With Us. We're going to talk a little bit about the scandal, and we're going to talk about the movie because that's what I do here. I give you a straight man's point of view. All right, I'm going to review this movie the way a real guy would review the movie. All right, not these crappy people up there, these media shills. Okay, they get paid by the studios to give good reviews, and then 6 months after the movie already bombed, then they'll make a video where they go like, okay, the truth is I don't really like the movie. Okay, none of that crap. All right, I'm gonna tell you a straight man's point of view. Okay, I got nothing to gain by lying to you. Okay, the reason I started this channel, I do this for fun. Obviously, I'm not doing this for money or anything like that. It's just for fun. I'm very big into movies, into Hollywood. Okay, I grew up watching movies. I was practically raised by the TV, okay, and movies. All right, so I'm a product of of American culture, modern day American culture. Okay, I'm a Gen Xer. Okay, but one thing I noticed growing up is that a lot of people, if you look around you, a lot of people, their fashions, their vernacular, their fashion, okay, the things that they like to do is highly influenced by the TV shows and movies that they watched growing up. Okay, and for you to pretend that that's not the case is you don't understand how reality works. Then, okay, for example, there was a show back in the '90s to the early 2000s called Friends. I think that show Friends influenced more women, okay, than any other show in history had ever done. Okay, it wasn't, you could watch Friends. Okay, I know most of you have seen that show. Okay, I mean, what is it? It's about these, six good-looking young people all living as roommates together in New York, right? Okay, and the hijinks that ensue from their dating lives, their professional lives, that kind of stuff. Okay, fine. On the surface, that's what it is. Okay, but what Friends really was, okay, is that was just on the surface for people that weren't that age range, okay, or weren't interested in that kind of stuff like me. Okay, that's all it was. It was a harmless show about young people, young good-looking people, and the hijinks that happen in their lives. They're all single, they're not married, no kids, that kind of thing, right? Okay, but in actuality, what it really was, it was social programming. It was telling young women, this is what you need to look like. This is how you need to act. These are the words you need to use. And for the men that watch the show, it's the same thing. Look at Chandler, okay, Matthew Perry's character on Friends. He always had the cat. He always said like, okay, and you're telling me this because, okay, like that, okay. He would have these sarcastic, snide remarks, okay, and that made its way into the modern vocabulary, into the vernacular, where all of a sudden every guy in America, every white guy in America that age was talking like Chandler, okay. Every girl that age, okay, had the same hairstyle as Jennifer Aniston's character did on the show. Okay? That show told us what was cool. Look at the clothes that they were. Look at the clothes that Joey was wearing. Okay? Men's girlfriends started buying them those outfits that Joey was wearing. Okay? You see what I mean? So it wasn't just a TV show. It was a living, walking commercial. You see what I mean? And it boosted the careers of everyone involved. Definitely their bank accounts. Okay? Do you really think Brad Pitt would have been dating Jennifer Aniston if she hadn't been on the show? Of course not. Okay, you see what I mean? She wasn't even allowed into the parties where Brad Pitt was going to be until she got on this show. Okay, same thing with Courtney Cox. You really think she would have been Michael Keaton's steady girlfriend if she hadn't been on that show? No, she was a struggling TV actress. Okay, she just got fired from freaking Misfits of Science, for Christ's sake. She was in the He-Man movie, the live-action one with Dolph Lundgren. Okay, same thing with Jennifer Aniston. I mean, shit, she just got fired from the Ferris Bueller's Day Off TV show. Okay, and she was like and she was in Leprechaun 3 or some shit. Okay, all right. So what I'm saying is that this gave a boost to their careers. They got invited to better parties with better producers. They got to rub elbows with more important people in Hollywood, and that boosted their careers. Okay, you see what I mean? But the point is that this show was so popular, especially for white women, they started wearing those clothes. If Rachel had it, they bought that outfit. Like I already said, every girl I knew in the '90s and the late '90s had. Oh, pretty much every white girl I knew in the late '90s had that hairstyle that Rachel had. I thought it was ugly as fuck back then. I still do. But women, Rachel wears it, Jennifer Aniston wears this, I'm gonna wear it too. You see what I mean? Okay, that's what it really was. It influences you. Okay? And if you think for a second that these shows that I'm talking about, these movies I'm talking about are just harmless, they're not. There's a lot of people out there that are looking for something to identify with. They're looking for some sort of a social cause or a sense of identity. They're trying to discover, what is my identity? Okay? And it starts off with who's going to accept me. That's how you get people fall into cults. That's how they get into Ponzi schemes. Okay? That's how they end up getting subscriptions to worthless crap. Okay, it's because they want a sense of belonging. People want a sense of belonging. Okay, and if you're insular, if you don't have a lot of friends or something, you're gonna watch a lot of TV, or in a guy's case, you're gonna play video games. Okay, and that's gonna give you a sense of identity. Okay, people are looking to belong. They want to be popular. They want to be cool. You see what I mean? Okay, and TV shows and movies provide that. They provide not just a fashion, okay, but like, what kind of a job do I want to have? What kind of clothes do I want to wear? What kind of women or men do I want to date? You know, what kind of career should I have? And they look at movies to tell them. You see, look at, oh yeah, I saw that guy in that movie. Oh my God, I want to be a lawyer now. You know, how many women fucking want to become lawyers just because they saw that fucking show, Ally McBeal? You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. How many women wanted to be fucking a publicist because they saw fucking Kim Cattrall's character Samantha on Sex and the City? You see, they're looking for an identity. They're looking for a sense of importance. Okay, and that's what TV does. That's what our culture does. Okay, that's what movies do. Okay, they provide you not just with how to look, but how to think. Okay, like I said, it's social programming. All right, in this movie, it ends with us is the same thing. Okay, I've watched this movie from beginning to end once, and now I'm watching it again so that I can take it apart and deconstruct it. Okay, and tell you what works and what doesn't work. And I'm now that I'm actually doing that part of it, of the review. Okay, I can tell you right now, this movie is there to program you, okay, into the victim mentality. If you're a woman, okay, this movie is there to tell you that you're the victim. You're automatically born the victim. Okay, you're an empowered female that doesn't need a man, but you're also a victim. You get to decide which one at any particular point. Okay, the point is that no man controls you. You see what I mean? And this movie is telling you that, okay? And it's doing this by depicting these men that are not real men. Okay, this was written by a horny, unattractive, lonely 40-something-year-old woman who can't get laid. She wrote this book. They adapted it into the screenplay. Okay, and it's there to basically a woman's fantasy of what a man is. Men fighting for her. It's a fantasy. Okay, it's not gonna be the guy that works at fucking Walgreens. It's not gonna be the guy that valet parks your car. Okay, it's not gonna be the guy that you call when your air conditioner goes out. No, it's going to be a super good-looking, super shredded, ripped, wealthy, smart, handsome. I mean, look at this fucker, Ryle Kincaid. Look at his clothes. Okay, he's wearing this guy. His casual wear is he's wearing about $700 worth of clothes. His watch alone is $500. Okay, so like and this is supposed to be the average guy that just she just happens to meet on a rooftop of a building that she broke into. Are you out of your fucking mind? But this is what it's telling you. It's telling you that these high-value men are going to fall all over you. In fact, you're going to have to fight them off. Because you're born that way. You just are. You're one of the cool girls. You have the right ideology. You see the way she's dressed? She's supposed to be from a plethora, Maine, but she dresses like she grew up in freaking San Francisco. Okay? This is what I'm telling you. Okay? They're trying to program you by getting you to think this is what you deserve. If you're an average woman off the street, you don't work out too much, you don't really pay attention to your weight, you don't watch what you eat, okay? You don't have really any like serious goals in life, okay? Okay? Which is a lot of women out there. I know no movie's ever gonna depict that, but a lot of you women are like that, and you watch these shit, you read those romance novels, you watch this shit, okay? This movie's telling you, reinforcing that, yeah, you're right, you don't have to do that much, okay? Because some high value guy is going to fall in love with you. In fact, you're going to have to fight them up. They're going to fight over you. You see what I mean? That's what this movie's doing. Okay? It's bolstering of the woman's self-esteem, because you're the target audience, and the gay guys, okay? Okay, you're the target audience at the expense of the men. There's no real men in here. Now, I'm not too worried about you 40 or 50-year-old women, or even your women in your late 30s. I think you've probably jumped on enough cocks to know, okay, that this is bullshit. And most of you, I'm pretty sure, have learned your lesson if you were living that lifestyle or whatever. Okay, you know better now. I'm pretty sure you don't want your daughters to grow up like that, right in the cock carousel, only to find out at middle age when they hit the wall that they wasted those years and now they can't get a high value guy. I know most of you already know this, okay? So I'm not worried about you. What I'm worried about, okay, is those 17 to 18-year-old girls, okay, those 13-year-old girls that watch this movie and think that this is what is going to happen to them. You see what I mean? That this is the way men really are. Okay, and they're not. They're not like this at all. Okay, there was no testosterone involved in this movie whatsoever. Okay, Justin Baldoni's not a real man. I know he wrote the screenplay, he's got the rights, he stars in this movie, he plays Raul Kincaid. He's not a real man. He wrote a book called Man Enough, okay, Deconstructing My Masculinity, okay, which is basically a book on how to be a pussy. Okay, that's the kind of man, okay, that Justin Baldoni is. Now, I don't believe he should be railroaded like he is by Blake Lively. Okay, I don't believe he should be suffering through this at all. I think Blake Lively is a piece of crap. But he doesn't represent us. He doesn't represent the average man, okay? We're not toxic masculinity guys. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of us like football, we like sports. Me personally, I like MMA, okay, things like that, okay? But it doesn't mean that, that we're, we want to beat the shit out of every woman that we, that's bullshit. Most guys are not like this. There are guys like that, but most guys are not like this. Why didn't someone make a movie about a woman who falsely accuses guys? Okay, there's a lot of those out there. Ain't nobody making movies about that. And that's a very real danger out there, okay? But nobody wants to make a movie. I wonder why. I wonder why Hollywood will make movies about that. Because it kind of blows up the whole I'm a victim narrative. Okay, the whole point of feminism, the only reason feminism exists, okay, is so that women can be victims. You can't be a feminist unless you're a victim. Unless women are suffering by men, then you got nothing to fight about. So you got to keep the women suffering, or at least give the illusion that women are suffering in incredible numbers everywhere in order to justify feminism existing. Okay, if men aren't approaching women, they're not flirting with women, they'd rather just watch porn and play video games. Okay, if men are not, asking girls out on dates and stuff, they're not talking to girls that they work with. Okay, they're if they're not doing this stuff, then women can't really be victims of men because the men aren't doing anything to them. Hence, feminism just can't really be it. You've got to have men being aggressive in order to have men doing bad things. They got to be aggressive towards you. But that's not happening anymore. Not the way it was before or ever, honestly. Everyone's so afraid of being accused of something that the guys just aren't doing it anymore. And if that's the case, then how the hell can a woman be abused if no guys are even like talking to her? You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And that's more real. That's more of an issue going on right now. Okay, not this crap. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, okay? We watched all sorts of shit about men beating the crap out of it. Like every other made-for-TV movie. Yeah, that was a thing back in the day, okay? Every made-for-TV movie, okay, had a husband beating the crap out of his wife. Okay, we all knew it was bad. We all knew it was a problem, okay? And we all watched men suffer for doing that. Okay, we saw them go to jail. We saw them, lose all their money, okay? We saw the things that happened, and we didn't want to be that, okay? And a lot of guys were raised by single moms. They know damn well you don't ever hit a woman. Okay, it's one of the first things they learned. Okay, so it's not as big of a problem, okay, as it was. It's not like, how you hear about rape culture, okay? Oh, men don't think rape is okay. No, it's not. Men do not think rape is okay. Okay, just like men do not think beating up women is okay. Okay, despite everything you've seen on your stupid ass talk shows, your MSNBCs, okay, your CNNs. Okay, your stupid fucking Oprah network made for TV movies, whatever the fuck it is y'all watch, even this piece of shit. Okay, men do not think that beating women is okay and it's acceptable. Okay, the majority of men do not think that. In fact, whenever it happens in public, I guarantee you it's going to be another man that's going to put that man in his place. I've done it myself plenty of times. Okay, now I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's not a problem. Okay, even in my personal life, my sister. She called me last year around October and told me she's divorcing her husband, my brother-in-law, because he was roughing her up and he'd been doing it for years. Okay? How do you think I felt when I found that out? I want to get in my car and go over there and talk to my fucking brother-in-law, some wall-to-wall counseling. Okay? But she won't let me do it. Instead, she just asked me, hey, can you help me move? I'm going to move all my shit out of our place, while he's at work, and I did. And now she's on her own again. Her divorce went through, blah, 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 and she's doing well, okay? But I think she was mostly ashamed. She didn't want me to know about it because she knew what I was going to do to him, if she told me, okay? So I get that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Like I said, it's happening in my life right now, okay? And I don't like that, and I can't stand for that. I watched my dad beat up my mom, but that was a long time ago. Okay, that was back when, it was accepted. Okay, I want to say it was maybe accepted. It wasn't considered good. When I was a little kid, we're talking a long time ago, okay? But it happened every once in a while, and it didn't raise too many eyebrows, okay? It wasn't until like the 80s and shit when they started making all these movies, like The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett and stuff like that. That's when it got like, Whoa, okay. Everyone started looking at each other. Are you being beat up? Are you being beat up by your husband? Or you know? That's when all the 1-800 numbers started coming out, and all that kind of stuff. All right. So I say it was a problem. It's not that much of a problem today as it used to be. Okay. Because if there's one thing that TV shows and movies promote is female empowerment. You cannot show weak women on TV anymore. Okay, you can't, unless the point of the movie is that she starts off weak and becomes strong by the end, okay? But you can't really show weak women on TV anymore, despite the fact there's weak women everywhere in real life, because it goes against the message, okay? It's the message they're trying to promote. They're not trying to help anybody, okay? Men are evil, and you're strong enough to fight them and stop them. Okay, well, I mean, people are evil, okay? Let's make a movie about that instead of just singling it out. And that's what this movie's doing. It's telling you that men are either they're there to help you or they're there to hurt you. Okay, and that's all there is. That's not really a good message, Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the scandal here, okay, in this movie. It ends with us, okay? Blake Lively got the composer for this movie fired. Okay, the composer that Justin Baldoni hired, his name was Brian Tyler. She had him fired despite the fact that she's not a producer or anything like that. Okay, she used her clout and her pull to get him dismissed. Okay, and they replaced the composer when she was doing her own edit of the movie. They replaced the composer with one of Ryan Reynolds' composers that he used in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Okay, and that guy's name is it was actually a duo of guys, two guys that did the music on Deadpool and Wolverine. Their names are Rob Simonson and Duncan Blankenstaff. Okay, and those are the guys that replaced the actual composer that was hired for the movie. Okay, so Blake Lively used her husband's composers. Okay, to compose the music in her cut of the movie. Okay, because Taylor Swift, the reason she did this, the reason she fired Brian Tyler, got rid of him, is because Taylor Swift knew Brian Tyler, and did not like him. So Blake Lively just got him axed. Like, she had that kind of authority, despite the fact that she was hired as an actress only. She had that kind of clout to get the composer of this movie fired and replaced with, her husband's friends. Wow. Okay. Justin Baldoni, he actually did his own cut. He's the producer. He's the director. Okay. He's the screenwriter. Okay. He actually did his job. He edited the movie to what he wanted. But Sony allowed Blake Lively to edit her version of the movie, and that's where all the controversy is coming from, right? Okay. They humored her. Okay. They said, okay, we're going to test both versions, Blake Lively's versions and Justin Baldoni's version. Well, Justin Baldoni's version actually tested better than Blake Lively's. Okay, it tested better. Okay, so what does Blake Lively do when nobody liked her cut of the movie? She decides to not promote the movie. She's not going to do any press tours. She's not going to do any interviews. She's not going to do any red carpet events, with the name of the movie behind her. None of that stuff. Okay, she's not going to promote the movie. Okay, not only that, but she got her new best friend, Colleen Hoover, the author of the book, to not promote it either. So basically, she had Sony by the short hairs here. Okay, you either do what I say or else. Okay, and so of course they capitulated. Okay, Blake Lively was the big star of this movie, and nobody knew who the hell Justin Baldoni was. And the target audience of this movie was women, white women in their 50s, 40s, and 30s, and that is Blake Lively's demographic. That's her audience. Okay, same thing with Taylor Swift. That's her audience too. Okay, and I told you already about the Taylor Swift thing, about how if they didn't do what Blake Lively wanted, Blake Lively was going to make sure that Taylor Swift's song did not appear in the soundtrack of the movie. All right, so they had to do it. All right, so that's going on here. Okay, and so Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, they knew the movie would be a disaster if Blake Lively did not promote the movie. Okay, they knew that. They knew they were going to lose everything on this movie. Okay, if Blake Lively did not promote it. All right, okay. So Blake Lively had Justin Baldoni and his family spend the premiere of his movie, in the basement of the movie theater. Okay, he was not allowed to go out on the red carpet at the same time as Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover and the rest of the cast and crew. Okay, so Justin Baldoni, think about this. He has the rights to the movie. He's the director. He's the screenwriter. He's the producer. Okay, he hired Blake Lively. He hired everybody there. Yet he is forced to spend the premiere of his own movie in the basement of a movie theater with his wife, his partner, and his family. Okay, and he actually posted the pictures that they took of each other in the basement of the theater. Okay, him in his pink suit. Okay, yeah, he wore a pink suit. Okay, yeah, on the premiere night. Okay, that's not made up. All right. Now, why is that? Because Blake Lively refused to do any sort of a promotion of the movie with Justin Baldoni in the same room with her, much less like 10 feet away from her. She wouldn't allow it. She would not go out there and promote this movie or walk the red carpet if Justin Baldoni is standing a few feet away. He had better be fucking out of sight. She didn't even want to look at him at any point during the premiere. Yeah, and she got her way too. Okay. So, Blake Lively tried to get a real producer credit, okay, for the movie from the PGA, okay? So yes, Blake Lively got a honorary executive producer, which means nothing in Hollywood. It's just a title they give you to make you look more important. Okay, you don't actually have any authority. You don't control anything. None of your money was used to make this movie or nothing like that. It's just an honorary title. If you remember all those Marvel movies, Stan Lee got an executive producer in all those Marvel movies, despite the fact that Stan Lee hasn't worked on a comic book since like the 1970s. Okay, yes, he created Spider-Man, but he had nothing to do with the filming of the movie, other than he created the character back to 1961. Okay, so he got an executive producer credit. You see, like it's like that. He didn't actually work on the movie. Okay, well that's what Blake Lively got one of those, but she wanted a real producer credit. Okay, she wanted a real producer credit. She wanted to be acknowledged as an actual producer in this movie. Okay, because she wasn't hired. She was hired for that. She was hired as an actress. All right, so she tried to get a real producer credit. Okay, for the movie from the Producers Guild of America. All right, and in order to get that, okay, you have to meet a certain criteria. You don't just get a producer credit. You have to actually do something, and you got to prove it too. Number one, you got to hire key personnel. You have to hire the key personnel. Only a producer can do that, all right? Well, what did she do? Well, let's see. She fired the editors of the movie, and she replaced them with her husband's editors from Deadpool Wolverine. So, and she fired the composer and replaced him with the composer duo from Deadpool vs. Wolverine. So, yeah, she did that part. Number two, you have to supervise the post-production. Okay, you're in charge of the editing of the movie, adding the sound to it, all that kind of stuff, the color grading, all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, and she did that because she fired the editors, okay, that Justin Baldoni hired, and she used her husband's editors instead, the ones from Deadpool versus Wolverine. So she edited her version of the movie. So yeah, she was involved in the post-production. She supervised it. All right. Number three, the music. Okay. Like I said, she got Taylor Swift to contribute My Tears Ricochet. That was the song that Taylor Swift contributed to this movie. My Tears Ricochet. Okay. And Taylor Swift's friend, Isabella Ferrer, she hired her. She got her to play the young version of Lily Blossom Bloom in the movie. Okay. So one of Taylor Swift's friends played the young version of Lily Blossom Bloom in this movie. Okay. So yeah, that is a part of, the music. All right. I'm sorry, not the music. Okay. But like I said before, getting the composer fired and replacing them with her own composers. Okay. She did control the music as well. So she meets that criteria. Number four, marketing. Okay. They tried to cross promote the movie. It Ends With Us with Deadpool versus Wolverine. They try to cross promote it together. Okay. To get what they were trying to do is, you remember 2 years ago when they had the Barbenheimer, when the Barbie movie came out the same time that Oppenheimer came out. Obviously the Barbie movie was for girls and women, and Oppenheimer was mostly for men, older men. So there was they weren't competing with each other because they were both going towards two different demographics. Okay, well, both movies did extremely well. Okay, and it was because they were both being played at the same time. Okay, you go see people were going to see Barbie, and then after that movie was over, they would walk across the hall and go see Oppenheimer. Okay, so this whole effect was called Barbenheimer. Okay, because these two movies were doing well off of each other. People were going to see both on the same day. Okay, one to satisfy the men and one to satisfy the women. Okay, so they're trying to do that. They're trying to do that. It Ends With Us and Deadpool vs. Wolverine. You and your girlfriend go in there. She goes to see this piece of shit, and you go to see the masterpiece that was Deadpool versus Wolverine. That's what they were trying to do. So they're trying to cross promote it. Okay, like they did with Barbenheimer. Okay, but she fucked it up. Blake Lively fucked it all up. Okay, by using the interviews that she did to promote her hair products and her beverages, her alcoholic beverages. She has a line of beer called Buzz, and she was using the interviews basically as commercials for her products. Okay, and that comes across as pretty tacky, especially amongst the Hollywood elites. You're supposed to be talking about the movie, okay, about domestic violence, about being a strong, tough, independent woman. Don't need no man. But instead of that, what were you doing? You were promoting your own personal products, trying to put more money in your purse. Now, there's nothing wrong with trying to make money, to exploiting circumstances to make money. Okay, that's what Hollywood's all about. Okay, but it can't be right in your face. You see what I mean? You can't do it like, it can't be like right up front in your face. You got to work its way in there. You see what I mean? You got to work its way in there. There's nothing wrong with, like, you know, if Universal hires you to play fucking Spartacus in a movie, okay? You get hired to play Spartacus in a movie, you know, there's nothing wrong with you making t-shirts of yourself, you know, because they don't own you. They own you dressed up as Spartacus. They own the rights to that, but they don't own you, okay? But people love the movie Spartacus as you in it. They love watching you play Spartacus. They love you because they saw the interviews with you, and they want to buy t-shirts with your face on there. And guess what? When they buy those t-shirts with your face on it, you don't have to give that money to Universal because that's you. They don't own you. Now, if those t-shirts was you in a Spartacus suit, then you would have to give the money to Universal because that's their copyright. Okay? So in a sense, now you starring in the movie boosts your career. Now you're going to get more acting jobs because you're more famous now. You're going to command more money, and you're going to sell more t-shirts. And that money, all that money you get from the t-shirts goes to you. The studio doesn't get any of that. So there's nothing wrong with that, okay? That's all actors do that. Why do you think fucking The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has got his own energy drink line and shit, okay? You see what I mean? If he wasn't making movies, nobody would buy his fucking energy drinks. Or his clothing line. He's got a clothing line with Under Armour, okay? That wouldn't happen if he wasn't making movies. You see what I mean? So there's nothing really wrong with this, okay? But it's not, you can't, like, if they hire you to do an interview for Spartacus and you go in there and they start asking you, okay, so what was it like playing Spartacus? And you're just like, hey, you know what? It'd be a lot better if you just buy my t-shirt right here, you see? And this is how you get it, okay? This t-shirt with my face on it, okay? Yeah, we're selling them right now. You can get 3 for $5, you know? Absolutely. All you got to do is go onto this website, okay? And he's not answering any questions about the movie. He's just selling his fucking t-shirt. That's what Blake Lively was doing, okay? She was promoting her hair care products and her alcohol line, okay? Instead of promoting the movie. Okay, and you know, that's tacky. That's tacky. It can't be in your face. It's got to be more in the subtext. It's got to be like underwritten, you know, reading between the lines. Okay, The Rock is trying to sell his energy drinks. Okay, he's promoting this movie to sell his energy drinks. Okay, but he's actually promoting the movie. Okay, but he's also trying to sell, like for example, if you did the Spartacus, if you were the Spartacus actor, right, and you were actually wearing your Spartacus t-shirt, your t-shirt of you during the interview, that's a back-ended way of selling, promoting your t-shirts. You see, that's okay. But if you go there and all you do is talk about your t-shirts, okay, that's kind of like tacky. That's in your face. That's like, you don't give a crap about this movie. You're just trying to make money off your t-shirts. You see, and that's what Blake Lively was doing. Okay. Anyway, so back to the movie. All right, where we left off last time. Lily Bloom there, she just got her store. It's a piece of shit. She's gonna have to clean it up, you know, move everything, start ordering flowers and all that kind of stuff. All right. And while she's there cleaning up the place, she left the door unlocked. Okay. And Lily forgot that there was a help wanted sign on the storefront. Okay. She forgot about that. So this unattractive girl played by Jenny Slate. Okay. Walks in there. And, and she wants a job. Now, clearly, Jenny Slate does not look like she's poor or anything like that. And she's desperate for a job. She just walked in there and made Blake Lively, and they girl bonded like they always do in these stupid ass movies. You know, Jenny Slate plays the role of the horny, unattractive best friend. Okay, which a lot of actresses in Hollywood, their whole careers are based playing that role. Molly Shannon played that role in Never Been Kissed. Catherine Hahn has played that role in every rom-com for the past 15 years. Okay, it's the typical role. Even Chelsea Handler has played that role. Okay, in a lot of rom-coms as well. Okay, the horny, unattractive best friend. All right, and that's who Jenny Slate is here. Okay, she comes in there. Okay, She talks to Lily there. They bond. Okay. It turns out that Alyssa hates flowers. She asks her, "What are you doing here? What is this store going to be?" "Oh, it's going to be a flower shop." "Oh, I hate flowers." You know. And then Lily says, like, "Yeah, I understand that. You know, a lot of people hate flowers, okay? But Alyssa says, like, the reason I don't like flowers is because, you know, I'd rather you give me something living, okay, not something that's on its way to dying." Okay, that's what Alyssa says. Well, Lily uses her hands to explain all this. Okay, so basically, you know how women talk in the sitcoms, like, "Oh, okay, look, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna and go over there." Okay, like that. Okay, well, that's the way these girls talk to each other. Okay, like they're in a fucking sitcom. All right. And move their hands and shit, like think Joan Cusack in every fucking role Joan Cusack has ever had. Okay, the quirky, like that. Okay, yeah, that's typical of the way girls fucking talk. All right. Okay, Lily explains how the beauty of the flower has been lost. Okay, get it? She's not talking about the fucking flower. Her name is Lily Blossom Bloom. She's talking about herself. Okay, that's the subtext of this movie. Okay, it hits you right in the fucking face, doesn't it? Okay, when Lily talks about flowers, she's talking about herself. When she talks about plants, she's talking about herself. Okay? It's not difficult to figure this out, okay? She uses plants and flowers as a metaphor for herself. Okay? God. A sixth grader could see right through this. Okay? Okay, so she explains how the beauty of the flower has been lost. Okay? I never knew it was found. Okay, it's like ordering takeout. Okay, it's highlighting the pain and the tension and the fleeting, and it's storytelling. What the fuck did I just read here? Okay, I copied this verbatim. This is what Blake Lively's character said in this scene. She said, "It's the beauty of the flower has been lost. It's like ordering takeout. It's highlighting the pain and the tension and the fleeting, and it's storytelling." What the fuck does that even mean? I have no fucking idea. I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds wrote this, okay? And he doesn't even know what the fuck it means. Okay? Your guess is as good as mine, okay? Anyway, Lily gives her a job anyway. Okay, she wasn't really hiring. Like I said, she forgot to help. Weinstein was there. She just started working at the store. She hasn't made any money yet or anything like that. But she decides, oh, she likes Alyssa. She's a girly girl. I'll be friends with her. Okay, and that's what's going on here. So she hires Alyssa. Okay, later on we find out that the only reason Alyssa's working here is because she's bored. Her husband is very wealthy, and he is a fucking beta male, a limp dick, fucking suck dick to his wife. Okay, he basically praises her. Everything that comes out of his mouth is in praise of his fucking ugly wife. Okay, and how great she is, and how flawless she is, and how much he loves her, and how she's precious, and how she's a real boss bitch, and you should be the boss. You shouldn't be saying my boss to anybody. They should be saying you're the boss. That kind of shit, okay? The typical simp beta male that all the fucking rom-coms and all the fucking chick flicks like this one portray most men as, okay? And that's considered, in these movies, that's a good thing. You want a husband like that. That's the only acceptable type of husband there is the one that will fucking lick your asshole and do everything you fucking say, has no agency and no opinions to himself. His entire reason for existence is to make you happy and nobody else. Okay? That's exactly the image that they want men to be. They want men to be like Alyssa's husband here. That's the only acceptable version. The kind of guy that will fucking let you fuck around on him, and then he'll still take it back and still pay your bills and still buy your fucking lover a motorcycle and shit. In fact, if you make my wife come twice, I'll buy you 2 motorcycles. Okay, that's exactly what's going on here. This is what they want. This is what they want men to be. I recently saw the SNL 50th anniversary, and they did a skit there. I've never seen. I don't watch the show anymore, but apparently these are recurring characters. Okay, where there's this guy and this girl, and it's their wedding. It's the wedding reception. Okay, where they're sitting there, and all of a sudden the bridesmaid comes out, starts singing. Okay, and they start singing about all the times that the wife cheated on her boyfriend, when they went out on vacation together, girls' vacations together and stuff, And then I guess the guy's name was Domingo, and he shows up at the wedding reception singing, "I'm a hot guy," Domingo, right? Now the husband is like, What's he doing here at our wedding? You know, that kind. And then all of a sudden, okay, here comes Pedro Pascal shows up. Okay, and he's the brother of Domingo, and he shows up there like, yeah, you know. And the wife asks, who's this guy? What's he doing here? And the husband's like, he's from my past, okay. And then Pedro Pascal's the guy. He's like saying like, yeah, he told me he was straight, but we got it on, you know, like that, okay. And then all of a sudden, their dad shows up, who's played by Enrique Iglesias, okay? And now the parents are there at the wedding reception. Molly Shannon and Martin Short play the parents of the bride. And they recognize him. Who is this guy? You know? And they're like, oh, man, well, I was hired to remodel their kitchen, and then I had sex with the wife. And Molly Shannon's like, oh, Ronaldo. And the husband, played by Martin Short, is like, oh, my God, I remember that now. Yes, I was watching you guys. I was watching you give my wife orgasms. It was incredible. Like that. Okay? All this is played like it's normal. Like it happens every day. Okay? This is just a funnier version of it. Okay? No, it doesn't. No man wants to watch his fucking wife getting filled out like an application. No normal man wants that, I should say. Okay? This is bullshit. Guys don't want this. They don't want to be a fucking simp. Okay? They would rather be fucking alone and single than to fucking have to accept a wife who's going to fuck around on them. And they're okay with it. Who's going to accept a wife who's just going to fucking talk shit and disrespect them all they got time, and they're okay with it. No. This isn't something that we want. No real man wants this, okay? But you'll never know that if you watch movies like this, where it's okay. This guy, her husband, Marshall, man, he's an Indian guy, because you have to have diversity, right? So she's married to an Indian guy, okay? And he's got a lot of money, and he spends it all on her, and he praises her, how perfect and flawless she is, and how much sex they have, and all the kind of stuff. That's all he cares about is her. He doesn't care about anything else. Oh, maybe his Toyota Camry. Yes, he drives a Toyota. He's a millionaire, but he drives a Toyota Camry. What the fuck? And we're supposed to believe this, right? Anyway, so that's going on here, okay? We go into a montage where Alyssa and Lily are working in the flower shop, cleaning it up, throwing out the trash, painting the walls, you know, setting up the furniture. They're doing all that stuff together. And during the montage, we hear a song called Money. That's What I Want. You know, it's an old song from 1959 by Barrett Strong. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, so they're doing all that stuff. That's the montage, okay? And like I said, we do meet Alyssa's husband. He's the Indian guy named Marshall, okay? He calls her on the speakerphone, okay? And she asks Lily to go to the bar with her, okay? Her husband and her brother. Oh, we're going to go to the bar to watch the fucking the Bruins game. Now, who are the Bruins for you ladies? Okay, it's a hockey team. It's a hockey team in Boston, all right? It's the Boston hockey team, okay? The Bruins, all right? And so he invites her on speakerphone. He's, oh, well, bring your boss over. By the way, man, you shouldn't be calling her boss. You should be the boss. You should be on that place. She should be calling you boss. She's going, oh, no, honey, okay, you know, she's my friend, okay. And anyway, she tells her, hey, listen, we're going to go to a bar to watch a hockey game, and my husband's about to walk in here, and he's wearing his pajamas, okay, his onesie pajamas, okay, because if you wear that at the bar, you get free drinks, okay, and my brother's going too. So we'd like to invite you to join us, okay, you know. So that's going on here, okay? What a way to depict a man as a beta male by having him dressed in fucking baby fucking pajamas, okay? Onesies for men. Of course, even though these onesies are the size of a full-grown man, it's got like fucking pride flag. It's got like little kid designs, like Care Bears and shit on there. What the fuck, man? Where do they get these clothes? Oh, sorry, Blake Lively picked them up. Okay, because you got to show men as weak and immature. Okay, when you dress like a grown man in a onesie, you know, a sleeping onesie, it gives you the image that he's immature, that men are all immature. They're babies. Okay, they need women to teach them how to fucking wipe their ass because they can't do anything without a woman. You see the subtext here? All right. So, of course, Alyssa, the beta husband, shows up wearing an adult-sized kitty pajama onesie, like I said. And by the way, the actor's name is Hassan Minhaj. I don't know if I pronounced that right, okay? Okay. And like I said, his character's name is Marshall, okay? And he's married to Alyssa. Ugly fucking Alyssa, okay? He's a wealthy beta male that tries to act like he's an alpha, okay? And that's the truth. Then all of a sudden, Ryle shows up. Yes! Now Justin Baldoni's character shows up. We haven't seen him since the rooftop scene. He shows up, and of course, he's dressed in a onesie too, okay, to depict how immature he is. But his onesie has pride flags all over it. You know, the rainbows are all over it to show you that he is a ally of the LGBTQ. Ally or participant? You decide. I already fucking know. That fucker smoked more meat than Hickory Farms. I don't give a shit what he says. Okay, anyway, so Raul shows up. Okay, it turns out he is Alyssa's brother. Okay, so remember when Lee first met him? I mean, when Lily first met him on the rooftop, he said, "I live in a penthouse right underneath the roof here, right next to my sister and her husband." Remember that? Well, now you know the sister and the husband. Okay. Okay, and so they meet again. They meet again in this pride fucking onesie. All right, I'm gonna stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.